Before we jump into this episode, I want to take a moment to tell you about the upcoming Texas Woodworking Festival, a 2-day celebration where makers and enthusiasts come together to share their passion for the craft. Join us for a weekend filled with creativity, community, and inspiration. You'll meet tool manufacturers, furniture makers, woodworking clubs, content creators, and more, all in one place with great food and drinks, and of course, all things woodworking. It all takes place in Austin, Texas on September 13th and 14th. The festival features an educational track on Saturday and Sunday, plus a special pre-conference content creator track on Friday, September 12th. There you'll have a chance to learn from masters of the craft like Gary Rogowski, Matt Kinney, Andy Rawls, and Kate Casey, just to name a few. Head to the TexasWoodworkingFestival.com for more details and to grab your tickets. Use the code MWA25 to get 10% off your tickets. I'll drop a link in the show notes. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, there's something for everyone at the Texas Woodworking Festival. Don't miss it. Welcome to the MWA podcast. I'm Kyle and I'm joined by my co-hosts Sean and Mark. Today we're visiting with longtime friend of the show and fan favorite, Brian Brazil. Brian, as y'all all may know, is a hobbyist woodworker, newsletter editor of the Woodworkers Guild of Rhode Island, and a veteran of many Woodworking in America's and Fine Woodworking lives, and Wilbur Pan's arch nemesis.
Let's keep that going. I like it.
So, Brian, how are you doing? It's been a while.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Enjoying the summer.
Good.
Good.
Yeah. I think Wilbur snuck in a visit on the podcast in between the last time we had you on. I think he stuck in an extra one. So, yeah, I know.
Getting ahead of the game.
I know.
Keep doing interesting things, and you'll be coming on more often. That's the name of the game.
Yeah. Well, before we get started, I do want to take a second to offer our thoughts and prayers and condolences to all the flood victims here in the Texas Hill Country. We're recording this right after the July 4th weekend, so it's fresh on our minds here. So just wanted to give a heartfelt, thoughts and prayers, condolences, and whatnot to those folks.
Absolutely.
So all of that.
Awful event. I wish
Awful.
for everyone to recover as best they can.
Yes. So anyway, with that said, we would like to thank our sponsor, Sutherland Wells.
Sutherland Wells knows that exceptional craftsmanship deserves an exceptional finish. That's why they handcraft their full line of low and VOC exempt finishes and stains using the highest quality, cold-pressed, sustainably grown tung oil. Their unique polymerization process delivers the deep penetrating, grain enhancing, non-yellowing protection of raw tung oil while reducing drying time and allowing the finish to build a beautiful, durable film. Sutherland Wells, the timeless look of traditional oil made for the modern woodworker.
Use code MWA25 for 10% off your first order. Well, we want to thank Sutherland Wells for being our sponsor for this episode. And if you haven't, go back and listen to episode 563 and 564, where we had both Mara and Rob on, and it was a great time, and I learned just a ton about
absolutely.
their finishes.
It was really an interesting the background that they both come from, and how the whole thing happened to be owners of and operators of Sutherland Wells.
Yeah.
Very interesting story.
Yeah. Luckily, I did have a little primer because Brian Brazil's Woodworkers Guild of Rhode Island actually had them speak at one of their events, and they post that on YouTube. So
they're a Providence-based company.
Yeah. Yep, they are. They are a Providence-based company. And they also, I guess they use the same telephone company or telecommunications company that W.L. Fuller, who makes my drill bits, uses. Because when I called Sutherland Wells, they put me on hold, and it was the same exact hold music. And I go, when they answer, I go, "Are you all affiliated anyway?" Oh, no.
Party line. It's party line, Kyle.
Probably. Well, with that, let's dip our toes in the woodworking news and some more sad news. Glenn Huey passed away here recently. I think most people know who Glenn Huey is. He worked at Popular Woodworking magazine for a long time, was a great editor over there, and wrote some fantastic articles. Met him a few times at Woodworking in America, and he was always super friendly, super nice, and always willing to share what he knew. And it's sad that he passed away way too early, but Anyway, but I think in the last few years, he actually opened up a donut shop called the Donut Dude in Cincinnati. And man, wonder what's got. Hopefully that place continues on. We'll have to see if his family.
It was apparently part of the Donut Trail. Like,
yes.
Where is this?
Where do I need to go where there's so many donut shops? There's a trail.
I'm in the same state. But I've not heard of the Donut Trail. I need to learn more.
That sounds like an event to do during a woodworking show or
exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can go across the river and do the whiskey or the bourbon tour.
Yeah.
And then go back across the river and do the donut trail tour. So anyway,
the Butler County Donut Trail.
Whiskey and donuts.
So,
sure.
Lots of sugar after lots of alcohol.
That does sound like a good pairing, though.
I mean,
your liver will never know what hit it. Liver and kidneys, 1-2 punch.
Yeah. But we do want to express our condolences to Glenn Huey. And like I said, he was a great guy. And best of luck to his family. And like I said, condolences to them and his friends. So, yeah. But with that, we'll move on to our next item. And that is Grizzly has a new dust collector out. It's a 1.5 horsepower, ultra quiet, horizontal cyclone dust collector.
What?
It's in a big box.
It is a big cabinet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I see this and I think, well, they're trying to copy
Harvey's, yeah.
Yeah, the Harvey one.
Yeah.
And I've seen one of the Harvey ones in action and there's not a lot of action there. It's clogging constantly and
really.
Yeah, I don't know about this design.
Yeah, I've heard the same things about the Harvey, like, hey, it's great on some stuff, but it's not great as, if you do something that does a lot of chips, like a planer or joiner or something like that.
When they show pictures of it hooked up to a plane. But hey.
Well, I mean, what else would you use it for, right?
I mean, yeah. Because it's a box, so you can put a surface on it and you can put small tools on that and make it convenient. But very interesting. The idea of a horizontal cyclone makes me wonder because gravity works even in a cyclone. And if it's cycloning sideways, the heavy stuff's at the bottom, which might lead to the clogging. Like
this thing clogged at the intake.
Oh no way! Oh, so it's just not enough draw.
Right? I don't know what it was. I mean,
maybe it wasn't assembled properly.
It's possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. No, I was just laughing. Like I have no idea. Like who knows what would have caused it. But it looks very similar. The exhaust or the intake port, I can't tell if that's higher or lower than the
cyclone.
I think that's higher.
Higher than the Harvey.
I've looked at the Harvey.
Maybe that was the problem, right? Yeah. Maybe gravity was giving it.
It's very interesting. I noticed like they have a lot of different levels of dust collectors, cyclone dust collectors. This is only the 1.5 horse. Yep. So it's low power, not large machine connected kind of operation, but at the price
most expensive.
Yeah, it's like $2,300 small dust collector.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's not cheap. It's cheaper than the Harvey, but it's
not. But for what it is, I'm not going to do it now. But I'll probably watch a video on this.
Yeah.
Just to see what are we doing here and why? Like, what's the use case? And I get it. Dust collection is something that every shop needs if you're running big power tools or just dusty power tools.
Yeah, and I think the big thing here is the quietness. I think it's 71 dB according to their notes here, which is
you're paying for a heavily insulated cabinet.
Yep. Until you put a nickel on it and that thing's rubbing and vibrating all over the place, making a racket.
Why can't they make a quiet vertical one? Why not a tall cabinet?
Well, yeah, you could. I think that's why a lot of people put them outside their shop too.
Yeah. Like
or even like you remember like way back in the day, Vic had like a separate room. He tucked it back.
Yeah.
And for that it was just you can isolate that sound a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
My environment, it was
or what was it? Wasn't Mark Spagnuolo when he's living in?
No, he just pumped it right outside.
When he's living there in Arizona, he just ducted it outside. I don't need filters. Boom.
No collecting. It was dust extraction, and it was just pushing it out into the wilderness. But you could do that.
I hope it was wilderness. I hope he didn't have neighbors nearby.
No, not anybody nearby.
Yeah.
You had a big yard in that big old shop.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ancient history now.
Yeah, that is hilarious. No, I don't guess it was Arizona. I guess it's when they were in California.
Oh, before even.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
dust
before
pile's
Arizona.
probably still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Those things take forever to rot. So
Anyway, well, so if you're interested in a dust collector, check that out. It's kind of interesting, but
It's interesting.
but-
I'd be curious if they
I'd
get
I'd
more-
want to see a review first.
Yeah.
and that kind of thing
for sure.
with somebody that's not getting paid to review it. So anyway,
That's hard to find.
you're probably right. It's probably hard to find. But next up, this is maybe a no-brainer. Rockler has some Hold It bench clamps, which is a 2-pack for $65. These are some interesting little screw clamps that can screw onto your bench and then hold another work piece either horizontally or vertically. Kind of have to see these. We'll have links in the show notes on how all of this works, but it looks pretty good. I mean, I can think of a number of circumstances where I could use something like that.
yeah, I mean, basically you can reorient them so that any two surfaces are at 90 degrees to one another. Like, and that, like that anyway. So like, I think if you have a really big bench and like one of the things they show is a board standing on end, like on the ground and standing up and they're routing the edge of it. And like, if you have a wide bench and you can't get a clamp across it to clamp to the face of the bench, like these are perfect for that. Even holding the board up at like shoulder height to hand plane it, I don't really think that's a great use case, but you know,
it's at eye level though. You're right there.
So you can really see what you're doing.
You're right there. Yeah, I've had to do that is throw a clamp across the bench to clamp, something standing up like that before. I've had to do that a number of times, and it's not as easy as it looks. This would be far easier to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Only downside on the whole bench idea, especially Mark, the benches that you make, is that it has a 2.5-inch thick capacity to hold.
Yes.
So
if
it has to be a thinner, like different kind of bench.
That's a good point.
It would work on mine because I just have basically a door. That's my bench. It worked perfect. But there is a limit there where 2.5 inches of clamping space is all it can do in one direction, and it's even less in the other direction.
The work spide is only 1 inch and 9/16.
Yeah,
I mean that's 6 quarters, right? So it's a pretty decent piece of material.
it can hold a lot, but it's what it's holding on to has a limitation. But you could even like kind of jig this up in a way, even if your bench is too big. Have something just hang over to be the clamping surface for this to start on. You could adapt it in a simple way.
Clamp something thinner to the bench top.
Yep. That's pretty slick though.
Yeah, it's pretty slick, but Sean, you're bringing up some good points. I don't think it'll work on my bench.
Yeah, again, without
you got a leg vise, don't you?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Your leg vise is doing.
Yeah.
Fine.
I can do something with that, but it's like
this is not the anti-Rubo necessarily. It's just it's a thing. If you have more of a shopmate, or what is the type that is a thinner top? It's like a 2-inch top. You could get them.
Let me go to the Grizzly website here. And...
yeah. I mean,
it's all. I mean, this would be great for a countertop woodworker.
Yeah. There are kit benches that have just a thinner kind of laminate, like a laminate top, but they're not 4 inches thick, and they're much thinner. So there is more than just doors being the top of shitty workbenches.
There are things the same thickness as doors.
Yes, the same thickness, but you could make it better, like butcher block style top, not butcher block, but laminate block tops. Like I know guys have made workbenches out of like countertop samples.
Oh yeah. You sandwich 2 of those together. That would probably
that's
work.
all you need. I mean, mine is 2 levels of 3/4 with some not MDF. What's the thicker fiberboard on top? I forget it. But so like it's a cabinet top, but I have my my one vise is up there right now, but it's not 2 inches thick. So this would be perfect. But it would also, depending on what I'm using on, I've got a Moxon vise that does the same thing. It's clamped down to a thing and it holds a thing in a 90-degree fashion. Yeah. This is kind of limitless because it's 2 separate things. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's plastic with threaded aluminum rod and stuff, or is it aluminum?
It's aluminum bodies, so that's okay. That's a little scary.
You wonder.
The the pivoting, you can pivot in 4 directions. So you have basically four positions. And then there's a little Allen key that tightens that down. So it looks like it's a swivel head, but it only swivels until it locks down.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the aluminum gives me pause, but it also needs to sell for a reasonable price, so I can understand.
Right. And the Allen key does ride on board, so it's not like floating around. There's a little spot to store it right on the clamp.
Yeah, that would definitely be at risk of getting lost if it wasn't
there a spot for it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. But no, that's actually pretty neat. I don't know if it's the first to do it like that, but pretty neat. Their little hand screws look a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Well, speaking of interesting things, we have a new full head respirator. So, you know, those respirators that have like a hose attached to them, and you have a battery pack or with all that, and the filters that are on your back, or some of them have all the filters and stuff on top of it, but it makes the things a little heavy. Well, this one has the filters on the helmet, but they have oriented it in a way to where it kind of offsets that weight, and it looks like a space helmet.
It sure does.
It's like Buzz
And
Lightyear.
it would be great. It would be great for, you know, shop or Halloween. Got a costume party coming up. You got
$600 helmet for your costume.
Exactly.
That price includes base, filters, visor, tear-off visor protector, fairing headgear, shroud, instructions, and the approval letter that says it's safe.
Yep.
NIOSH safe.
NIOSH. I'm not sure what NIOSH is.
Yeah. It looks pretty interesting. I think they had a previous version that wasn't NIOSH approved.
Oh, okay. So
and this is the newest version that is NIOSH approved. I think it's the only one they're selling. I couldn't find any others on their website. But as far as these things go, I mean, the 3M one, which is the most respected one, I think brand new, they're like over $1,000 or right at $1,000.
This is a reduction.
So this is, you know, just to get it without the little kit that includes some other things. It's like $550, and for another $100, I think you get some other stuff. One of the things they sell is these tearaway shields. So if something hits the helmet, it doesn't impact the actual. I think it's polycarbonate or something like that.
How do you get that over that huge shield? Like, how do you?
It's a round thing. As soon as I saw this,
like half.
Yeah,
because you don't need it on top. I mean, you're not looking out the top, but
yeah. It goes over the whole thing of it. So
you figure like that if that got dinged, it's like the worst safety glasses, you know, that would just get scratched up. I wear actual prescription glasses that scratches occur over time, and you learn to live with them. But when you look at them in the right light, you're like, God damn, like what is you know, like what are all the nicks and shit in there?
So the visor's $70. It's not bad.
Like, it's not bad.
Oh,
the tearaway things are like, I think they're like $3 a piece.
They're $30 for 10.
Yep.
It's like NASCAR, you know, they come in for the pit stop and rip the sheathing off the windshield to get all the bugs off of it. But
so a whole new visor is actually not that bad. The tear off shields, which look almost like they're not as soft as what I would think.
Yeah.
They're actually like they just like are formed to cling on top of the surface.
Yeah.
So less like a phone screen protector, but more of a complete encompassing cover.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if you bought one of these and didn't tell anybody, it'd scare the hell out of your wife when she came to the shop.
There is. Oh, I can't remember.
But your kids would love it and would
be like a scene out of E.T. The kids would be screaming.
No, there is a Doctor Who villain that were these white robots, these smooth faces that just would smile or frown if they were okay with you or not.
Yeah.
And there's that form of that, a kind of elongated, not like an oval, but a dome at the same time. That it evokes that a lot. If you're familiar, kind of wild.
But anyway, and I think
your nerd friends.
I think we've gone this far and not even named what this thing is. So it is the Microclimate Air 3. So anyway, and like I said, there'll be links in the show notes to this, but it's pretty interesting. There's two downsides that I have found with this. Number one is if you're used to using ear muffs for ear protection, you can't do that with this. You'll have to use some sort of, you know, in-ear canal type plugs or something like that. AirPods, something like that to do that. So that's And the only other real downside is, I think this company's been around for a while, but they're still relatively new. So if
Stock up.
Yeah, I would stock up on filters just in case. Just in case, because these are proprietary filters, and I'm pretty sure you can't get these made anywhere else. Where, if you went with somebody like a 3M or something like that, I think even if they cancel that product, that they would probably still maintain stock on the consumables. So,
or there's enough of them out there that somebody would start making them.
Yeah. But it is probably the coolest full head positive pressure respirator I've ever seen, though.
Yeah,
definitely up on the cool factor. But anyway, so I thought I'd throw that out there for y'all to take a look at. Like I said, check out the links in the show note, because this thing is pretty awesome.
mm-hmm.
Well, with that, let's
sexy website too.
Exactly.
Oh, it's very well done.
Yeah, very well done. Yeah. Well, let's move on and thank our patrons. So who do we have to thank this week?
We like to always give our Patreons a Patreon shout out, or our patrons, I should say, on Patreon. Today, we're going to give that big shout out to our newest patron, Tony. Tony, thanks for helping us out.
Yes.
And if you would like to join Tony in support of the MWA podcast, you can go to patreon.com/MWA podcast and help us out there.
Yes. Thanks so much,
Thanks,
Tony.
And everybody
Yes.
else
And Brian, I think you're our good luck charm, because last time you were on, we also had a new patron joining us. So we should just have you on every week.
Yeah. Soon everybody will be a member.
There it is. There it is.
There it is. Yep, exactly. So with that, let's move on to what's in the shop. So, Mark, how the spiders going in?
Yeah,
the
the
shop?
spiders have taken over the shop. So I've decided to do tile instead. We switched homeowners insurance to save a whole bunch of money, and then they asked for an inspection of our fireplace, and the guy came out and he's like, "Oh God."
Oh no.
Well, it's fine, but there are codes, and it does not meet those codes. Like, we had a flexible chimney going up through an old chimney, and so even though that old surface is totally fire rated, the flexible chimney that goes through there is not rated to touch another surface, and it is touching other surfaces. So technically, it's out of spec, even though the thing it's touching is totally fireproof. So he's like, "Yeah, I can't sign off on this. You're going to need some work." So now we saved $3,000 on our insurance to spend $5,000 on new chimney stuff, and that has, how these things are. It's like shaving the yak. There is now new tile that needs to be laid, and that means tile has to be torn out. And so it's one of those projects that has exploded in scope.
Oof.
And so that's what I did Sunday. I rented a demolition hammer and just chiseled away at tile,
like an electric power hammer.
Little. It's like a jackhammer, for lack of a better term, but it's much smaller.
Much smaller.
Yeah. There's we've got a plywood subfloor, and they put some mastic on the floor, and then laid Durock on top of that, and then they did the tile on top of that. So of course the Durock, when you try to break it up, it just splits in half. Half of it sticks to the floor and the other half comes up with the tile. So you have to do 2 rounds of demolition. First you have to get all the tile out, then you have to come back and clean up all the Durock. And then now I have to get some leveling stuff and build a giant mold and pour leveling onto the floor so that it's all flat again. So that has been my spare time for the last couple of weeks. But I don't know, it's gonna look great when it's done. I'm excited for it to be over with. So
nice.
We'll get our stove back in place and have a nice cool. It looks like patinaed iron. It's kind of like a rusty red iron,
cool.
but it's a porcelain tile. So it'll look interesting. I'm looking forward to it. So how about you, Sean?
So nothing productive. Well, not very productive, but I had an impromptu chainsaw session the other day. I think it was last Monday.
We're just gonna have to start calling you Mr. Chainsaw.
I know. I got
Storms?
a
Did you get a
lot of
storm?
use out of it lately, honestly.
Another couple of weeks, come down to Texas. I'm sure they can use
I
it.
know. There's gonna need some help. I'll have to get a lot more gas, a lot more borrow, a couple new chains. But no, it must have been Monday. So we had eaten dinner, and we don't eat late. It's like 6:30, and I was out in the yard for something. My wife, oh no, she went out in the yard and I was inside, and she came in and she said, "I think the neighbor lost a tree." And I was like, oh, I did hear something, like a chainsaw. Like, huh. Well, I'm gonna walk down. So my oldest and I walked down the street, and for sure there was a large oak branch that had fallen kind of into a driveway, into a garage, across a fence. Rather hefty oak tree, and wildly, some years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the previous tenant, this house is rented right now, but I think it was the owner that was currently renting it. Anyway, he lost a branch on this thing that came down on his driveway, thankfully, when not a car was there, but it's like 10, 12 inches in diameter and took out a fence on one side. This one was 90 degrees in a different direction to the other fence, on the other side of the garage. And come to find out, yeah, they had the residents had just gone to get dinner, but they have it on their camera. It came down at like 6:13 in the evening. And when I first got down there, I think it's one of their fathers that was there with a truck and a cigarette and a chainsaw. And he just threw his hands up and he goes, "Oh, look, reinforcements." I said, "I have a saw. Do you need help?" Like, so, I walked back to my house. I changed my clothes. My oldest comes with me just to help out. And it's kind of interesting. I'm in a residential neighborhood, but it's a residential neighborhood where we have wells and no sidewalks. It's not like it's country, but it's definitely not city. But I had a bare-ended chainsaw just in my hand, walking 1/10 of a mile down my road, and this is not my neighbor. This is like at the end of my street neighbor.
Hockey mask?
No, I didn't have a
Yeah.
hockey mask on. I didn't have anything else. I did not wear hearing protection. Don't tell my wife; she'd be upset. But many hands make light work. We cleaned it up quick, but I did discover, this branch was like leaning on the garage, and I pulled it off with no resistance. Weirdly, I was like, "Whoop," but I looked up and there was a shingle that was like flipped up. I'm like, "Anybody been inside?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "You might want to look at that." And sure as shit, we look inside and you can see daylight through it. Like a 2-inch branch poked through, broke the roof. The garage was built sometime where it's a planked roof. It's not OSB.
Right.
So
Okay.
those boards, like 3 or 4 of those boards, snapped and threw shards down from the impact of this thing. I'm like, that's gonna need to be, because we're expecting storms. So
Like some karate right there.
but they're like, we're renters, so it's not our responsibility. I'm like, still, you might want to put a stick of something up there just to stop it from pouring in. But
Yep. It's
I
blue
don't
tarp
know.
time at least.
Yeah, just a tarp on top, or like the way it was, you could cut a square of like OSB and kind of support it from the underside,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have helped a ton. The shingles weren't like damaged. There was just a hole kind of like carved underneath one. But
Gotcha. Yeah.
but yeah, that was totally unexpected, and it was hot. I was like, I think I'd come home from work and changed into shorts. I think I grilled. Oh, I got a Blackstone finally, skillet grilling. That's the other new development in the house. But then that happened. I get my working boots on. I put my dirty jeans on. Throw some shitty shirt on, and get to it. And it was like 95 degrees. So it was a sweaty event, but happy to help out the neighbors when I can.
You're like a little like a chainsaw superhero. You can hear the tree that falls in the woods
And
when
just
there's
come
no one
running
else around to hear it.
Actually, I still have to go to my neighbors and section up the biggest stuff that's still left in his yard. He is averse to trying to move these things, and it's going to take some hefty manpower to move them. So I'm actually probably going to take wedges in the sledge and try to the smaller feet, because they're rather large.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering how close the bedrock is to the topsoil in your neighborhood, because it seems like if you look at a tree sideways, it falls down over there.
No. So this funny thing that about Ohio isn't Texas. I don't know where our bedrock is.
Okay.
I dug.
You mean it's not like right at the surface, like the Ozarks?
Like the Ozarks? No,
Mm.
no. When we first moved in, I dug a new point well in my backyard by hand. I went 7 feet deep of sand until I hit saturated sand, and I dove a point into there, and that's where I get my water from.
Okay.
No, I'm the Great Lake Erie of the Great Lakes. The ancient old lake bed is underneath where I live. There is no bedrock.
All right.
no,
all right.
No,
It's down there, but it's way down there.
It's way down there. I mean, the wells in this area don't require like even the deep wells. They don't require drill bits, because they're only going through sand and They're not
So it's
going
just like a
through stuff.
hose with water running through it. You just push it down into the
Basically,
ground.
you can absolutely you can
Yeah.
flood drill and just kind of just push something down with water flowing. It's wild.
That is wild.
But yeah, but it's just different. We're like where we are in northern Ohio. There's the glaciers came through and didn't deposit rock. They left that in the southern part of this. It's not around here. We're flat and soft. But there's a lot of very old trees, which is where you start getting stuff down because this oak next to this driveway, it has to be a 7-8 foot diameter at the base. I mean, it's big and it's tall. So that branch that came down from like 20 plus feet, and it was a lower branch, but it was about 10 inches in diameter at its thickest. So that's a heavy fell. And we don't know because it wasn't storming, it wasn't windy. We think it might have been previously damaged. There was some like ant openings in where it broke, but everything above it was as solid as can be, cut beautifully, like just solid oak. It wasn't dead by any means. It was just a wild occurrence. But I love using my saw, and it's happy times when I get to.
There you go.
Kyle, what you been working on?
Let's see. Orders. I've been getting some orders out. So thanks everyone that's been ordering here recently. So that's been good. I'm about ready to go on my vacation where I'm meeting up with some college buddies of mine. I think there are 8 of us getting together. So I have made 10 bottle openers, and those are ready to go. Finished. I'm not sitting there finishing them, the day before I leave. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so those are done, and probably after we get done, I'll post some pictures of them. But they're all different. I don't think I have any that are exactly alike. So that should be interesting. I figure I'll let the guys decide which one they want, probably through some sort of competition of strength and skill. We'll see how that works. But beyond that, it's been about it. So Brian, what have you been working on in your shop?
Mostly making a mess. I'm wrapping up a Japanese toolbox that I've been working on. So all the scraps and stuff are accumulating on the bench.
So is that one of those toolboxes that has the 2 wedges that lock in the top, that kind of thing, or?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just like the one that Andrew Hunter has on Fine Woodworking.
Oh, okay.
Fine Woodworking.
It's made of all the finest Japanese joints in succession. Basically, a puzzle box.
Nails.
Yep.
Nails.
Oddly, the toolboxes are like dead simple. Like nailed it stuff together.
Yeah. It's like, yep, that works.
Yep.
It's kind of like the tools. It's just a hunk of iron shoved into a piece of wood, right? It takes a little more time than that, but yeah.
So what type of nails are you using? Just cut nails or?
No, I was actually using I don't remember the name for them, but they're wood nails that are Japanese.
Oh, okay. Wooden nails. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Treen. They call them treen.
Yeah, tree nails.
Probably not in Japan, but
Right.
That's cool. I've never used those. So how do you install those? I assume you got a drill.
Yep,
like a tapered drill.
Pilot hole. The tapered pilot hole, and
okay,
it's a tapered nail. So
okay,
kind of wedge it in there and hope it doesn't split.
Gotcha. Yeah, that could be an issue.
Glue.
Okay, so where are you going to store in your Japanese toolbox?
Japanese tools.
Really?
I've been on this Japanese tool kick, so decided I needed a place to put them.
I better not let Wilbur know about this.
I know.
Gonna ruin your reputation. Golly. So what else have you
trying to be more like Wilbur, I think.
Yeah, could be.
This is Wilbur envy, I think.
Right.
Well, so what else have you been up to since we last had you on the show? I think it's been a little over a year since we had you on.
Oh wow. Mostly making boxes, oddly enough. I got the Japanese toolbox that I just am wrapping up now. Before that, I had Bob Van Dyke has a great sharpening box that he does.
Okay.
And I do what I'm calling my improved sharpening box.
Ooh.
Because his is just mitered corners, and he tacks a kind of a hook on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided I can do this with dovetails. I can set it up so that the hook is integral. And so yeah, working on that for a little bit. That was fun.
Nice. So have you done any of the tiny boxes?
No.
Yeah. No?
No. Leaving those to Matt.
Yeah. I have mats. I made some of them. I think about 3 or 4 of them. They're kind of interesting. Especially when you're doing the sides of the box, because I go, oh, it needs to be thicker than that. And then once you get it together, no, that's too thick. He's right. That needs to be a lot thinner. Yeah. So anyway, but
I did do one small box actually. Took a Kumiko class.
Oh, really?
Woodworkers Guild, yeah.
Oh,
So we
cool.
did a hemp leaf and set it into a box.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea was that it would be a functional thing that you could take home with you. Of course, I have more boxes than I know what to do with. So I may just hang the lid on the wall.
There you go.
Well, speaking of that, so y'all are teaching classes out of the guild? Is that something that's been going on for a while, or is that new?
It's something we just started up last year.
Okay.
We did a couple classes, Kumiko, a little bedside tray, and a safety class. And so this year, I'm teaching one. I'm teaching hand-cut dovetails.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think we're doing safety again. We like to always have a safety class in there so that everybody's keeping safe.
Yeah.
And
you do that before your class, right?
Right. Don't really need that so much.
It's the do as I say, not as I do classes.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. So, like I said, I love the YouTube channel that y'all put out there. Putting all that stuff out on YouTube. So that's fantastic because it's like, okay, so what's going on in Rhode Island this month? So
we have so many great presenters that we started out during the pandemic. We were doing Zoom for like everybody else was doing a Zoom meeting, and just kind of kept that going so that people could watch from home. And now we've skipped over to YouTube Live, and then we're just recording them and putting them out on the webpage as well.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. Always love it. Yeah, and y'all do have some great guests that come through there. Who's coming up? Do you know?
At the moment, I don't think I've put it up yet. But yes, I got suckered into doing the YouTube as well.
I thought you were you were what? You were past president, and
past president.
You were president for what? Like a decade, it seemed like.
Yeah, I think 7 or 8 years.
Oh wow!
And then you were you treasurer at one point?
No, they don't let me near money.
Okay, that's what yeah. They would have asked, for a background check. No.
You should go to hit the cycle. Just have a seat in every position.
Right.
So now you're just the newsletter editor. So that involves editing the newsletter, I assume, doing the website.
Just as it says.
Yes.
Yeah. We have another guy that does the website, but just doing the newsletter every month, which turns out is a heck of a lot more work than being the president. Yeah. But I don't have to talk to people, so it makes it so much better.
I guess. So who schedules the guests and stuff like that y'all have on?
We have a couple guys that handle that, because we actually had a guy since I was a member that's been doing it, and he was just completely burned out. So we were able to get 2 new guys doing it, and they're pulling in some great guests. We've got, I don't think it's been on the YouTube site yet, but tips from a shipwright. That guy Lou, I'm not even going to try his last name. He's an interesting dude.
Yep.
And Matt Cianci is coming up.
Oh, cool.
In September and October. I think the guy's a big jerk. He's talking about hand-cut dovetails. Yeah, they suckered me into doing
Brian
that.
Brazil.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Okay, yeah.
Completely full of himself.
Yep.
I thought it was either Brian or Mike Pekovich, one of the two.
Maybe he was going to talk some trash about Wilbur. He convinced Wilbur to come and do it.
Yeah, that was the other.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How do you like teaching?
I like it. It's scary because you're kind of up there and kind of doing your thing and hoping that eyes aren't glazing over.
Yeah.
But
and hope you don't have any gaps.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna probably do a lot of let's cut this little part and then switch over to a different piece.
I mean, are you getting? I mean, you're young in the teaching thing, but what is the what's the student base? Is it longtime members? Are you drawing in new faces?
A little bit of each.
That's
A
awesome.
little bit of
And
each.
to keep
Yeah.
it kind of growing and fresh. That's awesome.
Yeah. We're trying to
Cool.
get more, especially more of the newer members
Yeah.
kind of coming in, especially people that aren't, don't have a huge history of woodworking,
Right.
that would really learn a lot from a course on safety and, learning cool stuff like Kumiko and all that. So
How much does it cost to be a member?
I believe it's 35 a year.
I was like
Oh.
a month, a year, a quarter?
Yeah.
No, a
A
year?
year?
35 a year. Yep.
Jeez.
And
Wow.
if you're a turner, we also do, we have a joint membership with the turners. So it's 35 for either club or 50 for both. So
I want a West Side Story rivalry.
Exactly.
we had one for a while.
This was the court mandated solution.
There it is. There it is. No more rock fights in the schoolyard. Got it.
Well, that is pretty cool. That is nice. Now, you recently went to the Fine Woodworking New England. It's kind of the free thing that's at Bob Van Dyke's place, right?
Everything that's no longer free.
Oh, it's no longer free. Okay.
Oh, no.
But it's still wicked cheap. I think it
Okay.
was $35 or something
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
for 2 days.
Or
Common
you could
theme
get a
in Rhode
year's
Island.
membership with the Rhode
Yeah,
Island.
it's $35
Exactly.
in Rhode Island. That'll get you a lot of things.
Or both for 70. No big, it's a bargain.
Yeah. Well, how was that? So that was what's the Connecticut Valley
The Valley School of
School of
Woodworking.
Woodworking. Yeah.
That was great. Another successful year. The weather could have been a little bit better. It poured rain on the first day, and so they usually have a bunch of folks outside selling all sorts of antique tools and stuff like that. So they were
awesome.
mostly in hiding the first day.
Oh, okay. So it's a 2-day affair?
Yep, 2 days, and they have 2 tracks going at the same time. So they've kind of upgraded there. So there's an indoor presentation and an outdoor presentation. And the outdoor ones were really exciting under the rain.
I can imagine. So what were they doing
Like a
outdoors?
Greenwood
Was-
barn or something.
Yeah.
Oh no, they just had a tent set up, and it was just
Okay.
a standard kind of presentation like you get at Woodworking in America or
Okay.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I think Wilbur sent me a picture of y'all together. So that was fantastic.
Yeah, I got there, and immediately when I pulled up, I got a text from Wilbur asking if I was going. So
You
great.
went, I'm here.
So you said no. No, I'm not going.
got to see Diami.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Managed to avoid Diami for a whole day. I looked on Instagram the next morning and said,
Wait, what?
"Are you here?
Really?
How did I not see you?"
Exactly. How can you avoid Diami? I'm sure you would have heard him or something.
I was gonna say, either see or hear.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not Tom, but it's
It's up there.
close second.
Mhm.
Well,
You can hear
fantastic.
that Long Island accent.
Yeah.
Rings in my.
Well, so what did you enjoy most about it?
I got to see Daryl Pert, which is
Wow, he came
Kind of-
all the way from the West Coast.
came all the way from the West Coast
Wow.
to do a talk about green and green furniture, and my
Mhm.
next project is going to be green and green, I think. So
Oh, cool.
we're gonna. That was great timing. So that I can take all my notes and
Are you regressing,
Ask
Brian?
questions.
Like usually the green and green phase comes really early in the woodworking
Yeah.
journey.
right.
Like,
Yeah, I've already been
Benjamin
through my
Buttoning
green
in
and
your-
green.
in your woodworking career.
Yeah. I mean, my entire living room is pretty much green and green. So anyway,
I
But it
still love
works.
that stuff.
yeah, I
love
still
that
love it
stuff.
too.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful
it's-
furniture.
Yeah, but so what are you going to be building?
A bookcase.
Okay, cool.
I needed a bookcase because when I moved in, I tried to find an antique one,
hmm
but all the antique dealers want to use them for knickknacks.
Yeah.
So they never have bookshelves for sale. So I went out and got a cheapy one from Wayfair. And every time I look at it, I notice how much the shelves are sagging. Start taking bets on when they're just going to give up the ghosts. So
Mm-hmm.
it's time to build a bookcase, and figured, I haven't tried green and green stuff. And I have kind of a craftsman-y living room. So
Okay.
it'll
Yeah.
fit in well.
It'll fit right in. So,
you have a-
oh,
Do you have
go
a
ahead. Mark.
design, like a starting design, or is it something that you're just going to kind of feel your way through based on the details, or
Kind of feel my way through it. I've been doing a few sketches.
one particular house over another, or what?
No, just
Like-
kind of making stuff up as I go along.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of the usual.
Okay, as long as you don't have every green and green detail in the one piece, you'll be fine.
Right. That's not how it goes.
That's how it goes in the beginning.
That's how it goes in the beginning. And then you ask another fellow woodworker, what do you think of the piece? I go, you executed every green and green detail precisely.
Everyone.
Everyone. Well, that's cool. Well, I'm gonna be interested to see what. Now, are you gonna buy the little plug cutter things that Lee Valley sells to make the little square?
That's the easiest.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a set of those. Those work really, really well. But I recommend going out, and I think Daryl Peart has some instructions on how to use them that's a little different than how Lee Valley does it. I don't know. It's been years. Maybe Lee Valley's updated their instructions now, but that was kind of interesting. A little bit easier to use. I can't remember offhand exactly what it was. So if I had to do them again, I'd have to go back and look. But I think it was something about how he was drilling the waste out, cutting it, and then I think drilling the waste again. I think that was the difference. Anyway, yeah, drilling the waste out twice. So basically, I believe that was it, but it could be wrong. But yeah, I'd recommend going out there and checking that out. I think it's on his YouTube channel somewhere. Yeah.
Cool. Give that a look. Yeah, it was great that he was there because they make those in like 12 different sizes, I think.
Yes.
It's like, okay, which ones do I really need?
You need all of them. You need all of them to execute it properly, to have every button size.
Yep, a separate Japanese toolbox to just hold those.
Yes.
Just an assortment of
those.
Or a green and green tool case.
Oh, green and green tool case for the plug. Yes,
Yeah.
that's appropriate.
Yep. And guess who has all of them?
Kyle does.
I think I might have 3 or 4, but that's probably the full set back then.
Yeah, they might be different now, but yeah, I bought the full set when they came out, including the little sharpening cone.
Yes, the cones. I have the cones too.
Yes,
I use those on other mortising.
I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They are great if you're drilling a hole and you need to just chamfer the hole a little bit. Much better than those little chamfers. Yeah, countersink.
What do you in what wood?
Yeah, in wood. Yeah, if you just need a small one, you're not trying to countersink the whole thing.
Like just by hand. You're just
you're just trying to round over it. Like if you got something like
deeper
screw passing through it or something like that, you don't want it. You don't want a full countersink, but you just need to chamfer that little hole. And you know how you can get the little sandpaper and twirl it up and do all that, and that will do it. That will kind of do a round over. But one of those cones, just zoom, done.
Nice.
So
pro tip right there.
There you go. Well, when I make my jigs, I have all these little holes that screws pass through, joining into metal.
And that's what
stuff
you're using,
like
just
that.
cone.
Yeah,
Wow.
just that cone. Yep. Now it does get clogged up pretty quickly, but you can just spray some simple green on it, and boom, you're done. Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, that's my tip for the show. There you go.
Brace. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a little.
So so Mark, if you're building those shave horses and you just need to chamfer something that a bolt's going through, boom.
I just shove the bolt in there. It's
it'll cover the sins. That's fine.
Yeah, I can see Mark.
There's a washer and a nut.
Yeah, I know.
And a head on another. Like just cover. You're fine as long as you don't have a big splintery blowout on the back end.
I was waiting for that. Kyle, that's what washers are for.
Yes, that and spreading forces out.
Somebody has a history in furniture production. A washer will cover marring blowouts
that and a countersink or a counter bore. A counter bore is really good for covering up blowout.
Yeah, that'll work. Of course, you always need that counter bore after you drilled the first hole.
I got really good at stopping. I set my drill bits so that the brad point just comes through the bottom.
So you have that point.
And then I flip it over and I put the counter bore, put the Forstner bit on, and that's just the centering point for the Forstner bit. And there's plenty of material to keep it centered while it starts, and then it takes care of itself once the lips are cut.
Nice.
So yeah, it's
Have you ever used a centering pin? That's what I use. It's a little
on a Forstner bit.
No. Just if you're having to do a counter bore after you drill the first hole, it's a little cone thing that you can mount in the chuck of your drill press and recenter the hole that you drilled.
Oh yeah, but you would have to clamp. You'd have to put a clamp on the work to hold it down. right? Once you set it
So
up,
it doesn't
that it
move,
doesn't
right?
move when you change the bit back.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good bailout procedure. Like if you
Mhm.
like, oh crap, I need to
Yeah.
fix this. But if I got 100 holes to drill, I'm definitely not doing it like that.
No,
And,
no, no, oh, no.
Yeah, no, I'm that is something that happens to me when I'm building something that I haven't done before.
Right.
When I'm like, oh shoot, yeah. So what I usually do is just put the through drill bit. I leave it on the drill, and I just insert it back into the hole from the other direction, and then clamp everything down
Clamp
and
it,
switch
yeah,
the bits.
yeah.
But then you run into the problem of having jobber bits that are like 6 inches long and Forstner bits that are like 3 inches long.
Right.
And I'm lucky enough that I've got a drill with a lot of throw. So the quill goes a long ways and I can usually make that work. But
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm glad I have the drill press I do, because I think it's got 6.5 inches of quill travel. Yeah, that'll bail you out all the time, so many times. So anyway, but Brian, so I was going to ask you, so now that you're doing some teaching and stuff like that, what do you think the biggest change you've seen over the last few years in the woodworking hobby?
The lack of river tables.
Nice.
Um,
Was that a problem for a while?
yeah.
Yeah.
a little much.
I think I don't know if it's a change really that's occurring, but it has a lot of potential, is the Shaper Origin that they've really been pushing a lot. It's not something I would use personally because it requires way too much setup and preparation and stuff, because I fly by the seat of my pants as a hand tool guy. But it seems to really be able to put like the biggest CNC you can imagine in the palm of your hands, kind of literally.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I've been kind of hesitant. Have you used one?
No, I've seen them.
Yes. I've seen them. I haven't used one either, but it seems like everybody I know that had some doubts once they used one, they went, oh yeah, this is great. So I don't know. Mark, have you used one? You have a full CNC.
No,
so
I haven't, but they came out before I built my CNC, and if I hadn't needed to do like big stuff, like giant mortises, like if I was just still running a furniture company, I would have had one of those in no time. Even if I was just using it to make jigs, like they just look like an amazing jig making machine, like router jigs and stuff. But no, they look really cool. I mean, anything that it's a really great bridge between techno nerdy people and woodworking nerdy people, right? Like, so, and a lot of those are the same people. We like our technology and our wood shavings. And so I don't know, it gets people thinking differently about the projects they're going to make. It unlocks doors for creativity. And I mean, at some point those people might say, I wonder what it would be like if I could cut this by hand, these inlays or whatever that I'm doing. I wonder if I could carve this with my hands. But there are other people who just keep doing it with the shaper forever, but they'll keep doing something different. I don't know. I think that expands the opportunity to experiment and play around. I think is good.
It is. And on the flip side, for it's a bridge between handwork and CNC. Like it can make it, like, if you see what's possible with that, maybe then you'll get a machine that's dedicated to do that without you guiding hand to do that. If it fits whatever you're doing. I'm super impressed with what they've done. I remember when they first came out and it was like, what? Like, is this, you sure, guys? And it's I think it's only grown. It's grown, I would say, at a regular pace. It hasn't like gone explosive where it's like everywhere all at once. But they've improved along the way, and I continue to see them kind of in use in demos and production, which is really kind of great to see. They're a really cool company.
Have they gotten more powerful? I haven't been paying attention. They're still just driving quarter-inch bits.
I'm not sure. I know when Chuck Bender was on, and I saw this too, is they have a new attachment that basically turns it into a CNC machine, so you don't have to guide it with your hand. But I think that's like a $1,000 attachment or something, that makes it. Yeah, but I guess if you had that and wanted to bump up and say, hey, I want something that I guess that makes sense rather than buying a CNC, which is going to cost you $2,000 to $4,000.
Kind of like an old
10
Stanley
that.
joiner is the widest joiner you'll ever buy. It doesn't matter how big your big, aircraft carrier 20-inch joiner is. I can joint a thing by hand much bigger.
Yeah.
The Shapeoko allows you, or Shaper lets you work anywhere in any dimension, vertical, horizontal.
Yep.
As long as it will.
As long as you got enough of that weird dot tape.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dot tape. The dot tape's
Stick down.
The domino tape. Yeah.
That's the expensive part, maybe, like, because it's expendable and you have to keep getting more and more of it. But I mean, you really could. I mean, you could do a football field with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with a long enough extension cord, which is really cool. You know, I mean, again, not everybody's use case, but it has that capability.
Yeah.
That's where I didn't think it was ever gonna like take hold. Would be like that, like mortise cutting. Like
it is for like, it's great for small stuff. Like again,
Yeah.
it's or for like making a jig to make big stuff. You know,
like in my mind, like if you had to put a rabbit in a length of board where there are many hand tools that can do that. There's a router with a guide bearing that can do that, but I guess the Shaper could do it too. That's where it seems way too much
I
because
think if
there's simpler ways.
I think if you spent $600 on this thing
Yeah.
and not on a router, right?
Yep.
Like if this is what you have, then you figure out a way to make it happen.
No, yeah, it's
But
some point,
if I had,
when you have a hammer, everything starts looking like a nail.
yep, you design the project to work with the tools that you have.
Work with the tool you have.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's some truth there. Absolutely.
If I had, if I wasn't making big things for a living, if I just had some hand tools, I would probably have a Shaper Origin.
Sure.
Just because it'd just be fun, you know, like you just do all kinds of fun inlays and crazy stuff, and you wouldn't have to worry about screwing the thing up while you're trying to clear out the waste, you know, because the thing retracts.
Once you understand it, I think it allows for a lot of creativity. You can do some cool carving style stuff with it. You do signs and all sorts of stuff, because you put a V bit in there and now you're doing something completely different. You're not just hogging flat bottom holes. So there's
engraved metals with it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a cool tool. I hope they keep going.
Exactly. You know, I'm sure they do great on cloud lifts, Brian.
I know. Yeah.
And what's that thing at the bottom of the leg where the like scoops in at the bottom?
Oh
of the leg?
yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
little inverted ramp thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that detail is called, but I love that detail. So it'd be really good for that too.
There you go.
Okay, we're spending your money, Brian.
Make it work for you.
Just use a gouge.
Yeah.
Or that. See, again, you could always go
Good.
basic.
Or just
If you got that already, don't get a computer to do it.
make a little temporary jig for your router plane and that's slanted and just
Yeah, there you go.
cut your way down into the bottom.
Well, cool. Well, so Brian, any other woodworking goals you have besides the green and green stuff coming up?
Pretty much just survive the green and green build and
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
What are you going to
that.
use for the
Down to the
ebony?
neck.
You going to go get blackwood or real ebony or what?
Yeah, Bon.
yeah, I'll probably go find some ebony. It's not a
The
whole lot of
turners.
ebony. Yeah,
Yeah.
so just get like a turning blank and
yeah. And let me know what sizes you need. I have a bunch of ebony.
Do you really?
Yeah, for my green and green days.
When
I
I went-
even have a
that
bunch
big.
of them cut into squares. So let me know
It's
what.
already sized to match each one of the custom drill chisel thingies.
Keep in mind though,
Yeah.
this is ebony and Texas humidity, not Rhode Island. So
I don't think humidity is
Ebony's
gonna.
like plastic. Like
is it,
I don't-
yeah, I mean it basically is.
Yeah.
Is it pretty stable in change? I'm never
Yeah,
sure.
touched this stuff.
I'm sure Jeff Hamilton is just screaming at me right now. Like, no, it moves like
Not
crazy.
plastic. Don't say that.
It'll
But
kill you like plastic when you breathe enough of it. But
Oh sure.
yeah.
yeah,
But seriously, Brian, if you need some, let me know what sizes I can go measure and see what I
cool.
need.
I
So.
think I've got some scrap anyway
Okay. All right.
from my
Well, throw,
aborted
throw that-
green and green days.
yeah, because
Left
you know
over
I
from the last time.
passed by my little pile of ebony that's in this little tube, and I'm like, yeah, I wonder what I'm ever going to use that for.
Mhm.
So, but I'm not throwing it away.
Right.
You know, Windsor, a little green and green Windsor.
Oh, there
Interesting.
you
There you
go.
go.
Little accent here and there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
There you
It's,
go.
it's like any it's like seasoning a steak. You just little bits of here and there. You don't need to like make a chair out of ebony, but you could do a couple lines of it, just make it pop.
Yeah. Well, there are little, you know, little plugs and stuff like that to secure tenons and stuff like that. And I could
Yeah, you
always
put a
cap those with a little ebony plug.
put a back splat in and pin it with ebony.
I don't think I'd pin it with ebony, but I might cover the pin with ebony.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or you can do what the Green Brothers did and just put it in random spots.
Yeah,
For
where it
fun.
doesn't support anything. Yeah. Yeah. I have a picture frame that I made, and it's like I did the little faux ebony plugs, for the tenons and stuff like that. And like they're all three corners match on this frame except for one. And I like miscalculated and moved that plug over like half length of the plug. And if I point it out to you, you'll see it. But if I don't point it out, in fact, it took me like 3 years before I noticed it. I went,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Oh, you didn't know it. That's the best kind right there. It
didn't know
it
it. I was
escapes
just
you.
gonna-
You don't feel bad when you're hanging it up. It's like 3 years later, you're like, what?
Yeah, I was just like looking at it. I went, the bottom doesn't match the top. Wait a minute, what happened here?
Where's
I
my
went-
tape measure?
Yeah. So when I was making the plug, so I went to the right of the line when I should have gone to the left of the line.
You're a whole plug out.
Whole plug out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, well, with that, let's move on to our fortnightly beer choices. So I'm just drinking the house beer Guinness. Hopefully, Mark has something more exciting.
I don't know. It's a Boulevard Tank 7, which is an American saison.
Ooh,
So,
Very nice.
nice.
It's a tasty beer. There's a place in town where we go to have dinner every once in a while, and they have Tank 7 on tap. So it's like, oh, we're gonna go get Tank 7 tonight.
It's not the name of the bar or
my-
restaurant. It's
My wife showed up with a 12-pack of it, and I was like, oh, I love you so much, honey.
nice.
So, how about you, Sean?
I'm following Kyle's lead. It's my house beer, Miller Lite, much
Yeah.
lighter than the guess, but I you know what, it makes me want to have some Tank 7. I'm gonna look it up next time I'm in the beer store.
Yeah, it's good. It's kind of funky.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've had a bunch of Boulevards. They're all pretty good.
They are.
Yeah.
This
Brian.
one's a little bit stronger than their. It's the wheat. Everybody knows about the wheat.
Yep.
But the Tank 7 has a lot deep, richer flavors, and it's got just a tiny bit more alcohol in it, but it's fine.
It's nothing crazy. That's good.
Mhm.
Brian, what are you sipping on?
Speaking of more alcohol, uh,
I can tell by the name.
I'm doing a double IPA called Wandering into the Fog by Abomination in North Haven, Connecticut. I don't drink many Connecticut beers, but it's pretty good.
That's nice.
It's almost like they're in New England.
What's the alcohol on that? On that deep?
I want to say it was 10 or so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
A
That's-
good,
that's
good
worse than the
hazy
Smooth
New
Criminal.
England IPA coming out
Yeah.
of Connecticut. They're very nice.
I just spent a week in Long Island, so
Oh.
I'm trying to reacclimate myself to what good hazy IPAs taste like.
Oh,
What is it? It's 6 points out of Long Island, right? So there's a lot too much of the
Yep.
real heavy-handed resin stuff going on out there, and this is a little more.
Yeah,
deeper
they had
than
a decent one, Optical Illusion, that was kind of good.
Okay.
nice.
Very nice.
Optical Illusion. I like that name. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Man, it's been a while. It's been a minute since I've had an IPA. Now I want one. So anyway, now down here, what they're doing with the beer, especially the heavy alcohol ones, I mean, it's in like big yellow letters, 10.2% alcohol, 9.7% alcohol.
Really?
Oh yeah. They're like promoting the hell out of this stuff as far as high alcohol content. It's like, okay, all right, there you go.
I told my neighbor years ago, it's
Yeah.
really going kind of. He goes, man, I drink this, Bud or Bud Light or whatever. I'm like, yeah, you pound through 6 of those, and I'll take this one down for an hour,
Yeah.
and it's about the same. Like it's not. You can't equate when it's real heavy and alcoholic or
Yeah.
hoppy as all hell. Those double, triple IPAs, they get way up there, and you just have to realize that is not a quick sip. You're not down on that in 10 minutes.
Well, that's the
session.
problem.
Yeah.
If that's what
Session
you
in
grew
beer.
up on, you're just going to pound the IPAs as hard as you.
yeah,
And then you're
that'll
like-
kick you in the butt.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Gotta watch
no
out for
kidding.
that.
Yeah. I lost a number of brain cells at some of the woodworking in Americas.
IPAs. It's a bourbon barrel ale and IPAs. Yeah.
I got some of those aging on a shelf in the basement.
Oh,
Kentucky
fantastic.
bourbon barrel ale.
Well, so moving on. So, Brian, where can folks find you on the interweb? Should they wish to, join the Woodworking Guild of Rhode Island? You don't have to be in Rhode Island to join, correct?
Correct.
That's
If you're
right.
if you're interested in the Woodworkers Guild of Rhode Island, we're wwgri.com.
Okay.
If you're looking for me, I'm at brianbrazil.com, which really just redirects to my Instagram, which is Brian_C_Brazil.
Very good.
Also, Swamp Yankee Workshop works. SwampYankeeWorkshop.com,
That's nice. Nice.
which does the same.
That's
That's the same.
to your Instagram. Perfect.
Well, fantastic. Well, Brian, thanks so much for coming on the show. And I can't wait to
thanks for
post
having me.
this. Sure, I'll get a text from Wilbur going, hey, when am I
When can
going to
I
be
be
on?
on?
Yeah, when's my turn again?
This is like the better than who is it? Matt Damon and not Ben
Jimmy
Affleck.
Kimmel.
Yeah.
Matt Damon and Kimmel. They have that kind of fake rivalry thing, but
Yeah.
let's not call it fake. Let's call it real.
Show business rivalry.
Brian and Wilbur have it out for each other.
That's right.
And start slashing tires in the in the neighborhoods.
And that just about wraps it up for this show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on the podcatcher of your choice. Just search for the Modern Woodworkers Association. And while you're there, please leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at MWA_podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/MWA podcast. But the best thing you can do is tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way in sharing our discussion.